All right, so we're here with the evergreen Stephanie Benson. Now, many people would argue that 52 years and you're still in the game, you should, well, not many people, some people would argue that 52 years,
Yeah.
you should be retiring from the music industry. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the people who are saying that, the people who are not in the arts, because you have to understand that music is in the soul. When you go into music, it's not really just to make money. It's really, again, to feed your soul, because that's who I am. I can't shut that off. Because I love to sing, I love to write, I love to perform. Yeah, so I don't care. The only time I'm gonna stop is if I can't walk, and even then I can still release albums, right? So no, I think if you're an artist, you know.
So, how do you keep diversing to make sure your fans keep getting fresh materials when you release your music?
I think you just have to sort of go with the times and listen to what's out there, what people are are listening to. I mean, to be honest, I don't really change much of myself. What I change is how I feel about the music as I get older. Because as you get older, the changes just happen. Because with your environment, what you're listening to. I mean, I'm still listening to Luther Vandross and those kind of music anyway. So yeah, I just like to listen to people, and I love people. So because I love people, I listen to what people say and what they do and how they behave, and that's how I get my inspiration writing. And when it comes to music, it's just, again, it's what I'm hearing and all that. Yeah.
It seems usually when people want to talk about Stephanie Benson, they want to talk about how overly sexualized some of your videos are. I know there were videos with your children.
Yeah.
They don't. I don't know if they never saw that one in particular, but usually they want to go for instance, the one with Samini. Is it that our culture we are not open to women celebrating their sexuality, owning it? Is it that we're still backward in that nature?
Well, for 100% sure. I mean, it's more so here because we're supposed to be a religious, country. But I think that sentiment is also abroad, but then it's less so. So maybe, whereas here, maybe 95% people have a problem with it. Over there, it's a lot less. So we're talking maybe 15%. But I think here my problem is we like to keep our women down somehow, but also it's because we allow ourselves to be held down. So the problem works both ways, because some women will chastise another woman for being confident in themselves, but at the same time say they're not confident enough. And I think we just have to understand who we are. Now, talking about making videos that are a little sexy, I think I've only done 2 videos that are sexy, the rest are not. They just, maybe I exude some kind of sexiness that make you think that I always want to be, that way. But truthfully, it's who I am. I'm very confident in myself, and because I'm very confident in myself, I don't hold back in anything I do. So if I feel like doing something, I will do it. It's not because I'm trying to, make you see my body. It's because I feel good. I'm not thinking about you when I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm thinking about how I feel. And I think that's what's important.
All right, now you've been married for, I think the last time I checked, over 2 decades.
50 years.
So 3 decades.
3. Thank you very much.
How do you stay committed? Because today in today's world,
Yeah.
it's very difficult. Whether it's friendship, whether it's relationships that's leading to marriage, you hear a lot of people going into a relationship and then sooner than later they fall off. How do you remain committed? How do you decide that this is the one person that I'm going to stay through thick and through thin?
I don't think it's something you decide. I think it's something you have to work on. Now, my marriage is not perfect by any means. What it is exciting, because I make it exciting. I don't know if my husband's ever cheated on me, and yes, I would want to know. But I know I wouldn't. So I think when you have that trust, then you're fine. What I find with a lot of women here is, not all of them, let's say, but some of the young ones who are married, I notice that they give up on themselves very quickly when they get married. And it's because it may be their surroundings, maybe, sometimes when they wear something, their mother-in-law or maybe their friend somewhere or somebody will say, oh no, that looks too much, and then, no, don't wear that, it doesn't suit, and then the more you hear that, the more your spirit is dampened. And I think that's our problem, because when your spirit is crushed as a woman, as a sexual human being, then I think you lose that thing with your husband too. That's what I think. Because it's easy for men's heads to be turned. It's very easy. I mean, it doesn't take much. Just some big-ass woman walk by and you guys are looking. But that's okay, you can look. I don't mind you looking. So first when you come home, it's me you're looking at. But then there has to be something for him to want to look at. Because the woman he married was that gorgeous, sexy woman, and then as soon as they're married, he says, don't dress like that anymore. But then your eyes are looking at that woman who looked like your wife when you married them. What's wrong with you? Allow her to be. Allow her to be here.
We know Stephanie Benson, the musician. We're now getting accustomed to Stephanie Benson,
Yes.
the actress. But before I come to that, what is the other quality that you have that many people are not aware of?
I have a lot of qualities. I'm trying to think of one that I think people, I'm very resilient. I don't know if they know that. I am not easily swayed by anybody. I'm also really a strong, difficult mother. I'm definitely an African mother. When I say an African mother, in the sense that my kids have to call when they go out, they have to text when they get to where they're going, they have to text me when they're leaving, and they have to text me when they get home. So it's like, I don't know, I'm just really tough that way. So the people might think I'm really easy on my kids. Nah.
I'm trying to see that, the Stephanie Benson, the tough mother.
Oh.
I've not seen it.
Oh, I certainly am that. I am that and worse. Because my kids, I don't want to say they're afraid of me because I don't want them to be afraid of me. But what I need them to be is respectful. Because sometimes when you bring up children abroad, it's very hard for them to, because they listen to their friends and the way they talk to their parents is just awful. It doesn't happen in my household. And they've been brought up in the UK all their lives, and in America some of the time. And my children, when they talk to me like I'm their mother. That respect is there 100%. I mean, when my daughter finds a boyfriend, they come to the house first. Boys are not allowed to come and sleep over. It doesn't happen. My son, when he has a girlfriend, he brings her home. I meet her, and then he usually would, when she walks out the room, he says, "What do you think, Mom?" And then, yeah.
What sort of punishment do you give them?
Punishment? Like
a timeout, or you go the
But my
African
kids
way where
were
you
like
spank them?
3, and
When they were young.
when they were young, once in a while. I remember once my number 2 was so naughty, but then she's the only one who actually made me smack. She's the only one I actually smacked. The others I didn't have to. I would just usually make them go and sit in their room for a little while, or I'll tell them off. Usually it's that look. When I give you that look,
Mother look.
oh my God, my look scared the hell out of my kids. So it's like, don't, and then they'll stop. So, I mean, I did have some hairy moments, but in public, I would pinch. I would pinch them really tight and say, behave yourself. But no, I didn't really have to be that tough. I think it's my tone and how I am with them. They know when I'm angry, they know when I'm joking, they know how far to go, and they know how far not to go.
Right, now let's talk about Stephanie Benson, the actress. What made you decide to venture into acting?
I have my job back.
This is me. This is me. What is this?
Selassie, actually. Selassie took me into it. People always I think I've been offered quite a few, parts, movie parts in this country as well as in LA. And I would usually pass because I thought, okay, I'm predominantly a singer. Although I do theater, which is some form of acting, but I'm singing and acting. But yeah, it's sort of, I don't know. I think it was Selassie that made me want to do it. She came to me and said she wanted me for this part, and this part was very close to who I am. So I thought, oh, well, why not give it a go? Ghana will be the first place I do my first movie. And it was really very natural for me to do it. I didn't feel like I was acting. I just wanted to live that character. And I think I managed it. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
No, I just came yesterday. I'm going to go and watch it today.
Okay. But were there any nerves that you were not going to be able, before you got on set? You got a script. You read the script. Before you go on set, were there any nerves that maybe, what if I don't do well? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous when I walked on, only because I wasn't sure. Sometimes when you watch a film and you see somebody's acting that's really bad, and I watched some of the Gollywood movies, and I think it's so bad. I mean, the acting is just atrocious, and you see somebody, and they're crying and they're so over the top, and I mean, it's like I would watch and think, I never used to watch Ghanaian movies or even Nigerian movies because I just thought it was always over the top. So that's what I was worried about. So I remember when I went on set, I looked at the director, Pascal, who's amazing, and I said, listen, I'm not going to overact. I am not going to cry because the part says, now you have to cry. I will cry. If it comes, fine, but I'm not going to force it, because if I think like that, then I'm going to be crap at this job. And he said, no, Steph, just go with how you feel. And he was the best director, I can't tell you. He really made me feel very comfortable. But the actresses, initially, UCHE and what was the other one? I can't remember. They weren't really very nice to me when I walked in. I was like, hey, these people. So because I came in with like a bubbly personality, hey, okay, what are we going to do now? And they they were a little more reserved, and they didn't know how to take me. And here's me so I thought, stuff you. And then, so my diva self came out, and I'm thinking, okay, you think you're a diva? Well, you have not met one yet. So I went into my diva mode, and I thought, okay, so in the end, I couldn't keep that going because I'm just a happy person. Right. And I think the crew, I had such a bond with the crew. We used to laugh. I used to make them laugh all through so I think the girls realized that I was not so bad. I wasn't putting on that personality. It's just who I was. And UCHE came around, and I remember our scene together. She looked at me and says, so this is your first movie? I said, yes. And she says, oh, I didn't know that, because you would never tell. And I said, oh, thanks. I said, so you're going to be nice to me? She went, and she said, no, I wasn't sure. So he laughed about it, and it was fine. But yes, initially it was like, bitch moment.
Well, you're celebrating your own right. You go out there, you meet fans screaming. Stephanie, I want to take pictures with you. Have you ever had a fangirl moment yourself?
I'm not easily, I'm not one of those people like groupies. But I mean, I've met so many stars in Los Angeles. I mean, Stevie Wonder, I've met Madonna, I've met almost a lot of them. But my one person that I think if I met, I've started playing with my hair, I'd be a lesbian for it, would be Halle Berry.
Yeah, that hair.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mixed breed.
Yeah, no, it's not about the mixed breed, it's her. She's got that natural thing that I love.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Come back here.
Look at my lesbian moments right now. It's not good. But male, not really. Not really. It used to be Blair Underwood, and it still is until I met him. And I met him with his wife, and that killed it, because his wife is so cute. she was so lovely, so I couldn't bring myself to like grab Blandwood and go, "You're mine." But no, she's so. But I hear they're divorced, so maybe I divorce my husband and go back.
You're smiling.
No, I love Blandwood, but I can't think of anybody else.
All right. Now, in the music industry, who today in Ghana, who would you want to work with? We have new acts coming. We already have some established acts. Who would you want to work with?
See, I don't actually really think about working with anybody. If it happens, but the synergy, I mean, the feel, everything has to click. I don't work with people just because, I see a lot of female artists always do the collaborations. And I always see that the collaborations win the awards, not the artists in their own songs. And the only person who actually broke that was the beautiful young lady who died, Ebony. On her own, but I just not one for collaborations. But if it feels good, it's like when I met Samini, it felt good, and I've always respected Samini and his art. I saw him perform live once, and that was it for me. So I actually pursued him, and I went to him and said I'd love to do something with him, and I think he'd also wanted to, But I don't know. I mean, I have to see them perform live and get that sense of, ooh, that would be really good to, work with. But I don't know anybody.
You spoke about the awards. Do you feel some type of way that you're usually not nominated for any awards in Ghana, like the Ghana Music Awards and stuff?
For me, no, I don't expect to be nominated at all because I don't think that Ghana sees me as one of theirs. So I'm okay with that. I mean, it really does not bother. I don't actually even present my own song because you have to present your song to be nominated, right, which I think is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But yeah, you present your song to be nominated. Surely they should know that people are enjoying your songs. But yeah, I have never presented my songs to be nominated. If I had and I hadn't been nominated, then I'd be cheesed up because I think my voice is pretty cool. But nah, I don't present it.
Right. Finally, you talked about resilience as one of your qualities. There are many people who look up to you, and they probably are trying to chase their dreams, chase their goals. And every time you put something out in the universe that you want to do, life happens to you. What would be your one word to those people who are chasing the dream?
Well, when things are not going your way, you mean? I just think you should keep going. What I do is I sit, when I have moments where I feel like things are not really going right, I sit down and I write down everything I want to do, write pointers, and tick one off every day, maybe once a week or something. I do that every day. So I make it either maybe under number one, let's just say I have to release a song. Now, that's 1 point. So underneath that, I'll have about A, B, C, D, E, F, what I have to do to do it. And then every day, I'll tick one off something I've done on that list. Right. You're getting closer to your goal. And that's what I usually do. Obviously, I do mine on a larger scale now. It's like, okay, the end of this month, I'm going to make 6 figures. And then I tick all the points that I need to do to get to that. And that's what and it works. However small it is, however big it is, just write the pointers down and tick them off. And you get closer to your goal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.